Morning. Welcome back. How you doing? I'm Sean Butler. This grumpy one, and she is real grumpy today, guys, is Bugsy Malone. We are part of the Spurs TalkShow, although soon to possibly be rebranded, thanks to a clever creative man in Twitter yesterday. The Spurs Walk Show. I don't know why I've been calling it Tottenham Walks for so long. I should just call this the Spurs Walk Show. This is a consequence of my lack of Wi-Fi, which means my lack of ability to stream live with any reliability. Although, guys, update on that. We have found the problem. Now we just have to implement the solution. So it shouldn't be long before I can get back to regular daily live streams with you, which I can't wait. I'm looking forward to. If you're new to the channel, guys, then welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. Really appreciate all of the engagement that has been happening on the channel as of late. It's been awesome in looking at all the different conversations happening. Yesterday's show had a little back and forth with two guys for hours, it seemed. Very, very cool to read and to develop my opinion listening to theirs. Guys, if you wouldn't mind doing me a favour to help that sort of thing happen more frequently, please smash the like button, the subscribe button if you haven't already, and the notification bell. As you know, it helps put the content out to more people. Guys, where do we get going? Let's start with these two topics. One of them is Bugsy's annoyance with Conte, and the other is a little bit about transfer news. So I'm going to try and keep this as quick as I can. Antonio Conte, Bugs, we're going to go back. Let's go back. Antonio Conte, in his press conference yesterday, obviously, as you know, it's one press conference, but they split it up. They have the first section, which is released in the afternoon, and the second part, which is released in the embargoed bit, about 10:30 at night. And there was two takeaways, two little parts of information that I felt was very odd. One of them was Antonio Conte saying that the Manchester United game, the players didn't have any lack of commitment. He was more than happy and content with the display of the players in terms of commitment, which is something I couldn't disagree more vehemently with if I tried. I think that Tottenham's players shied away from every 50-50 ball. There was no passion or heart on display. We were tactically outclassed, sure. They were the better team on the day, no problem. But in no small part were Tottenham also, scared of the occasion. And there's one perfect example of it. Not that I want to throw all the mud at Sonny, because this was just a visual representation of something that happened in a plethora of different areas of the pitch all night long. But you can see a video if you go to Twitter on We Are Tottenham TV's page. They shared a video of a 50-50 aerial challenge between Sonny and Lisandro Martinez, and it was in the build-up to the first goal that United scored. And it was essentially little 5'8" Lisandro Martinez wanting to win the ball back. Both of them had clear run at the ball that was floating in the air off the back of a Højbjerg loopy header, and Sonny should have had the courage to go in there and fight for it, but he didn't. He saw it. He saw Lisandro Martinez coming and he shied away from it. Martinez won the ball, and the rest is history. And that was, as I say, it's not just Sonny that did that, loads of them did it. The people that you think of are brave were doing those sorts of things on the night. And it was frustrating. So for me to hear that he thinks that there was no commitment issues was bonkers, bizarre, utterly incorrect as an opinion, and disappointing to hear that he can't identify, or at least even acknowledge, that there was some sort of level of scaredy cat behaviour from the Tottenham players. Then you go into the embargoed section, which, as I say, happened at the same time but released later, and he said that Tottenham have a mentality issue in big games where we're very naive around the ways to waste time, and that we should be, feigning injuries more. I'm paraphrasing this because I haven't got the notes in front of me, but in a nutshell, that we should be rolling around and smashing the ball out of the stadium if we can when we're under pressure, so that you can breathe and gather your thoughts and reassemble structurally and formationally across the pitch basically to kind of take the sting out of the momentum of the opposition. There's nothing wrong with him saying that. I agree, that's an obvious thing that all clubs do and that all teams and players should be aware of. For him to say that Tottenham don't do it, or that the Tottenham players are naive in that regard, again, that sounds like a really poor excuse to me. Just my take, but we've got plenty of players that have been around the block enough times to know the processes of trying to break momentum in football and trying to stifle the transition. You know, you've got a goalkeeper who's been around the block long enough and whose distribution is so poor that he tries to kick the ball out of the stadium whether he means to or not. You know? So, and then you go outfield and you've got people like Eric Dyer and Ben Davies, both in their 30s. Sonny and Kane, almost in their 30s. Perisic, 35. Like World Cup winners, Champions League winners. Like, to say that we don't know that, and to say that that is the problem, or a major part of the problem with Tottenham's mentality, that we're naive in that side of the game, I find that, I mean, if it's true, then it's shocking, but I don't believe it's true. I believe it's an excuse to cloud over other reasons that are far more obvious to me as to why we lost, and that is poor tactics implemented by a weak squad riddled by injuries, and a game plan designed and not executed for by a manager with stubbornness written all over him when it comes to plan B's and plan C's. That, I think, is the heart of the reason why we lost at Manchester United, and the fact that it's a top 6 game away from home. Right? Most teams in the top 6 go away from home to other top 6 teams and lose every single time. There hasn't been another top 6 team this season that has won going away from home against a top 6 team. So if Brighton happened to be in the top 6, then Tottenham would be the only team that have done that. So again, there's context and balance, but to say that we're naive around time wasting, that to me is like a head scratcher. I'm going to leave that video right there, because in the real time I recorded an extra video, but then it was all seamless and unnecessarily long, so I'm going to cut it right here. Let me know your thoughts about that and Conte's commitments and his words. Like, share and subscribe, guys. I'll see you next time, and as always